Now, we can talk later more extensively of how we're bumping post to post in our post leans, but let's even just talk to the double post lean or the double seal here while on our knees. Only goalies that I would say are probably 6 foot and above can do this really well, all right? But I do believe I have a clip of Shesterkin, so I'll try to find that and add it into this video. He does a really good job of connecting to that left post. Stops, we want to be here, all right? Maintain that sight line. Okay, goalies that are shorter, I would recommend not doing that. I've seen some goalies that are like 5'5" doing it and trying to coach it. Wouldn't recommend. I would recommend for goalies that are shorter to just shift to one side. Again, stay tethered to one post, maintain the hip flexion, and then you can always hop to another post with more control. But if you're here and your hips are basically overextended, you have a lack of mobility off of this position. So you're here and a guy passes in front, that's going to be a hell of a movement to get into the puck. So I'd recommend getting the hips to shift. Let's say I'm younger or I'm smaller. I get the hips to shift to one side. That guy passes back. I'll have much more of an advantage getting into that post lean or bumping off it if, again, my hips are a little bit more flexed rather than hyper extended. So I hope this makes sense, guys. All right, so I have my buddy Landon here helping me out with behind the net zone. So what we're going to do is talk to how he's holding his body when the player's in window 1 and how he's moving off his post when the player moves into window 2. So if this player is skating closer to the boards, all right, then you're going to hold your feet and shuffle off the post. Excellent. And try to maintain visual attachment. That's the ultimate goal. And you can see with Landon how he's getting that right shoulder to go back. Now, Landon could also be a little wider here if need be, and or shuffle further off that post to the left side if that guy makes a bigger kind of movement behind the net. Okay. Now, still try to make sure that that right or left skate's a little deeper, Landon. Excellent. Okay. Now, when this guy passes window 3, which is basically the middle of the bar, the back of the net, that's when we make our decision. All right. Now, if this guy is obviously kind of keeping the blade here, but his body's moving, all right, we're going to maintain our overall position. Now, when he fully commits through window 3, the middle back of the net, then Landon's going to switch over and making sure that that back right leg is now a little higher, ready for a pass in front. And you can see that the stick is in a great position and also that this knee is still inverted inside. So if this guy were to attack low, Landon can drop into an RVH post lean relatively seamlessly. Perfect. Okay, now let's do the other side. So it's the exact same stuff here, just in reverse. Maintain eye contact over that left shoulder. Excellent. Good job here. So again, that left shoulder's tweaked back a little so you can maintain a little bit more vision through the windows. And then if this guy were to move even slower through the middle back of the net, Landon can even go more to the post and maybe even shift the hips. So stay there for a sec. Okay. Get this foot to the inside. Excellent. Now you can even shift your hips a little bit more to that right side, giving again a little bit more visibility there. And he is in a great position that if this guy were to commit low, that right knee can drop right away. Excellent. Perfect. And then in this situation, if the guy is talking relatively low, kind of crashing into the crease, Landon's paddle can be a little bit more aggressive here. I see some kids nowadays just allowing pucks to kind of go through their net and create a little bit more chaos than we'd like. So use that paddle when necessary. Now let's quickly talk to what we want to do with the harder / softer post leans. So get yourself in a softer post lean on that right shoulder or right side. Excellent. So if this guy is relatively close to our net, he does not have much height, if any, to work with. So we do not need to get that lead shoulder really kind of leaning hard into the post, because right now he does not have that height unless he kind of takes a higher route out. That's when we get into that harder post lean. But that softer post lean is much more advantageous for us to be able to cover the lower portion of the net and transition post to post if this guy were to jam it. And then also Landon is very much ready for any type of rebound because he's not kind of falling into that post. All right. Now, again, we want to make sure we're making our decisions based off this guy's route from below to above the goal line. So if this guy, again, takes a puck through a higher space, Landon will bump into a harder post lead. And if he takes it any further out, he will then drop and seal both knees. Perfect. So let's do the other side now. Excellent. So again, if this guy were to wrap around, Landon's in a great position to seal, and or if he were to pass it in front, Landon can now migrate off that post much faster because, again, he's not hugging the post because there's zero return on investment when it comes to hugging that post when this guy is so close to our net because he does not have any height to work with. Again, we are making this decision based off of how we see him committing out. If he is pushing or pulling the puck back, we will then get into a harder post swing. And again, if he pushes the puck a little bit more to the middle of the net, then we will seal completely. Perfect. Good job.